We at Tenny are shocked and saddened by the news of Brianna Ghey, and our thoughts and sympathy go out to Brianna's loved ones at this incredibly sad and tragic time. I just wanted to give a direct quote of one of her trans sisters, one of her very close friends. We've been planning for months how we wanted to have a life together. We would plan our future apartment and how we go and get our hair done, have our surgeries. But now I'm having to think about doing all of that by myself. Brianna was supported by her family, and she expended so much energy in supporting others in her community in accessing healthcare. This is a 16-year-old girl, remember, and she was doing this. But yet, she experienced severe bullying in the time coming up to her death. And then, in the end, she was tragically killed by two 15-year-old kids. It definitely, brings back memories of last year as well. On January 3rd of last year, Zen Black, a non-binary tattoo artist, was killed in Downpatrick, County Down, as a result of a knife attack that took place in broad daylight just outside their apartment at 11 AM. Despite witnesses attempting to intervene and halt the attack, they were pronounced dead at the scene after emergency services arrived. They were just 28 years old. Zen had complained to police twice that they had been verbally abused and threatened just days before. Zen, who originally hailed from Bangor, was considered by many who knew them to be one of the best tattooists in Northern Ireland. In August of 2018, Silva Tucola, a transgender woman, was found dead in the all-male direct provision centre in Galway, despite repeated requests from her friends and family to be notified of her burial arrangements so that they could have an opportunity to pay their respects and celebrate her life. In June 2019, Silva was buried without any service and without her Galway family being there with her. Many of Silvia's close loved ones found out through an article that appeared in the journal. We are living in the midst of a 7-year hate campaign and culture war stoked by politicians, media, and the same thugs that incite hatred and violence towards refugees and migrants. The toxic media campaign has been brought to our shores despite no appetite in this country and well-known established links to rises in hate crime and further violence against our community. Healthcare for all trans people in Ireland on the public system is all but gone with the collapse of adolescent healthcare, the imminent closure of the Tavistock in the UK with no replacement, and a 9-year wait for a brutal and traumatic psychopathologizing assessment in regards to the so-called healthcare service for adults. Ireland is the headquarters of some of the world's most prominent conversion therapy advocates, and their organisations that have been linked with misinformation campaigns influencing healthcare policies across Europe, and hundreds of anti-trans laws, mostly targeting trans children, being passed by state legislators in the United States, with some enjoying the privilege of airtime on our national airwaves and calling them inches in our papers of record. Our society and culture is increasingly succumbing to the sickness of transphobic hate by the day, and our community will face the brunt of Ireland's hate. Willful ignorance and indifference, hateful words and lies about us encourage dehumanisation and encourage thugs to attack, maim and kill us. As things stand, I worry that it's a case of when, not if, a trans person is murdered in the Republic, if our society and culture does not come back from the brink and cherish all the children and adults of Ireland equally. Over the last few days, I've experienced the full gamut of emotions as I've mourned for our community's loss. Numbness, sadness, anger, fear, back and forth over and over. I'd say to those trans people here today, to sit with the feelings that come as a result of this horrific incident. Feel what you need to feel. Take the time to process. I'd ask that you take care not to lash out in the moment, especially towards others in our community who are also hurting, despite any disagreements you may have. Now is the time for all of us to step up and hold each other in our grief together as a community. I would encourage you all to seek help if the burden is too much. I would also encourage you to find comfort, healing and strength in community, be that the biological or found family that you have, with friends and allies in our communities and beyond. Tenny can link you in with family support groups for young people and their families, and support and social groups for adults around the country. Remember that we have each other. There is strength to be found in community and the space to heal. I ask allies here today to comfort, to care, to help, but also to fight, especially when we are going through such painful times. We need you to stand with us and to turn the tide of hate. Thank you. Woo!